Welcome, everybody, to the American Space Museum. I'm Marquette, and we're so glad you're with us to stay star curious today as we give you some backyard astronomy. I forgot my binoculars and everything because, well, we're going to have an indoor program today. Let's say it's cloudy outside, but we're glad everybody's joining us on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Spotify, and we're so appreciate that you share, like, follow, and subscribe to us. Let your friends know that 5 days a week, the American Space Museum is bridging the space between us with some great programs, astronaut interviews, space worker interviews, and a lot of great space history that involves our wonderful American space age. So before we get started, though, I wanted to bring a guest here real quick. Steve Nolte is in the house, and hello, Mark Usiak and Tom Usiak, the brothers there. Welcome.
Yes. How do you do?
Just met you a few minutes ago with his wife. He's here on a cruise ship that docked into Port Canaveral. Steve Nolte is part of the team of the Usiak brothers, building a lot of the remotes and stuff. And I'm going to show you a picture of that here in just a second. But how are you?
Fine. I've got down there. I've watched some of your shows and helping. I've got pictures ready for Tom last week to bring down for his show.
Oh, good.
In a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Tom Usiak's gonna tell us about the photography labs at Kennedy Space Center and Johnson Space Center. I wanted to show this picture real quick that Mark Usiak sent me. If you can tell what that is, you can. That is you working on a remote camera. All right.
Wallops Island.
Wallops Island. There's another picture of you. Thank you for sending these an hour before showtime, Mark Usiak. That gave me plenty of time to work on these.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. There's Mark. Thank you, Mark, for all you do. I hope he's wearing a warm coat today because it's a little bit chilly when you left Lancaster, Pennsylvania
it's
area.
It's still nice down there. That cold front came all the way through down to here. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, you're
Mark,
yes.
Mark Usiak is saying frozen Pennsylvania, snow squalls here today.
All right, Mark's saying frozen snow squalls and stuff.
Isn't that too bad?
Yeah, isn't that too bad for you? His tears are freezing on the pavement.
He's also saying Steve is the, I just lost it. Wait a minute.
Steve is the brains of the outfit, I can tell.
Electronic brains.
Yeah, he's an electronic brain. Tell us, you just told me you had a nice career at RCA.
Right. I graduated from high school in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, John Pearsall McCaskey, 1970. And my parents said, well, we're going to give you 2 weeks off, but then you got to find a job. And as luck would have it, we opened the Sunday paper, and the local RCA plate had a full-page ad in the one ads.
Wow.
Hiring young kids, people, because they were transitioning from round color picture tubes to square picture.
I remember those.
Yeah. And so I threw around. I was just a production worker all my life, but they did a lot of things there. They had radar tube, a lot of military section. They built a lot of the early Tyros.
Tyros, the weather satellites.
From way back in the 60s and so forth. And then they progressed further. They even they made the image tube, the black and white image tube for the Apollo 15 color camera on the moon. It was the first color camera.
Oh, wow.
And that was a tube, a black and white tube that had a color wheel spinning in front of it to construct a color image out of a black and white.
Yellow. Wow.
Yeah. Because they couldn't afford the bandwidth through that was the first rover on the moon too. So they couldn't. They couldn't.
So you were involved with our moon program. That's
well,
awesome.
I just shipped the tubes out.
Yeah,
somebody
had to.
I didn't manufacture, but
it made it to the moon.
Yeah, that's right. But it was interesting when these special critical space atoms came through the shipping department. All the high management was there watching us pack them and put them in the cases and everything. Yeah, it was
interesting.
Yeah. There was.
We're having a little impromptu talk with Steve Nolte, Nolte, right?
Yes.
Right. And Carlton Bailey's here in the audience, another shutterbug that's escorting you around. He's everybody's chauffeur, isn't he? He's Mark
isn't that amazing?
Personal chauffeur.
Yeah.
We'll have to check his chauffeur license there, see if he's equipped for it. So your wife's name, and tell us where you're going.
Oh, my wife's name is Janet. We both worked at RCA, and we met there and got married.
Oh, okay.
Storybook.
I met her around here. You
Yeah.
took a cruise ship out of Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And,
And stopped in Charleston yesterday. Weather was nice, and then I wasn't even aware that she booked this cruise. I think I'm going to book a cruise. Yeah, you might as well. And she showed it. Oh, we're stopping at Port Canaveral. How interesting. I said, well, there we go. So,
Well, glad you stopped by and saw us. Wish you had more time, but
I hope to make it down eventually.
well, good,
Yeah.
good. What do you think of our little humble museum
Oh.
here?
Don't I wish I had this?
Well, it is like the best man cave ever.
Oh,
of course.
absolutely, absolutely.
But,
Woman cave also.
Women's cave also, yes.
Yes.
Your space cave is the better way. That's right, Marty. Women cave, man cave. It's not a beer cave. I do know that. But, well, anything you wanted to say to our curious watchers out there? You're a faithful watcher, and we appreciate your supporting our museum, Steve.
Well,
You
yes.
do excellent. You've created some excellent devices to get these beautiful pictures.
Well, they're kind of outdated now. They only work. The thing is, what the younger kids are doing now with their remotes are far in advance of what I do, or even capable of doing. Because mine, my triggers, it's the triggers, and the canisters and remotes. Actually, they're only good for still cameras. You know, it's just the rocket lights up, the meter closes the relay, and whatever you have attached to it runs.
Right.
So it
Right.
it wouldn't be so good for video, because you want to get your video started ahead of time, and that takes a lot of
Other steps.
timers and
Technology changes
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. Being involved with transistors and soldering and stuff. What do you see in the last 50 years has really blown your mind, that's changed in the electronic world?
Oh, well, not as far as hardware, but YouTube itself. I live for YouTube now. I mean, I watch the university lectures. Oxford Union has a lot of the academics on and so forth, and they'll have occasional astronaut on and so forth. But
And American Space
Space,
Museum's on YouTube with Stay
Yeah.
Curious, so we're glad that you're watching us on YouTube as we try to monetize that. But well, thank you, buddy. Thanks for
Okay.
dropping in here. Wanted to just
Oh.
say hi to you. We've got a little program on astronomy about
Yeah.
the exoplanets. Do you know we've discovered more planets circling stars than we can see with our naked eye?
well,
Stars.
just wait till Webb gets
Yes,
set up.
Exactly.
Just wait.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And that's just
Yeah.
around the corner.
Yeah.
As Webb is starting to do some science, our new telescope.
My heart was in my throat for that one. The
Yeah.
whole of that launch.
Well,
yes.
everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on board here and jumping
Thank
in here
you for
real
having
quick.
me.
Thank you. We want to just say hi to you out there. So enjoy your vacation.
I shall return in the future.
All right. We'll have a whole program with
Okay.
Steve Nolte as he jumps out of the universe here onto his cruise ship, headed down to the islands down there for a little bit of fun. Thank you, Carlton, for bringing your friend by here. Guys, stick around here. You're going to learn a little bit about, is there anybody out there? All right. Thank you, Steve Nolte, for his guest appearance here. And like I said, he's part of the team of the USIAC brothers that are supplying us a lot of great photography as we talk about the shuttles era every month with our shuttles of the current month in there. Well, Marty Winkle's behind the camera, our Streamlabs controls there. And our little program today on Stay Curious, Star Curious for Backyard Astronomy is imagine you're in your backyard, okay? You're not going to see the Milky Way like this with your backyard, and you don't have a gigantic radio telescope array out in New Mexico is what this is, called the VLA. But you can see things and imagine things, and that's what's fun about being a stargazer, looking up at the night sky all the time, is you look at all these stars we can see with our naked eye. In the northern hemisphere, there's about 3,000 stars you can see with your naked eye. And would you believe NASA just announced that we have found over 5,000 planets orbiting other stars in our nearby region of our Milky Way galaxy. This is amazing. 5,005 is the number of stars, actually, that have been proven to orbit other stars. each and every one of these exoplanets, as they call them, each and every one of these exoplanets has appeared in a peer-reviewed research, been observed multiple times using multiple detection techniques and methods of analysis. It is amazing just to think in your own backyard up there that most of the stars we're seeing with your naked eye have planets going around them, all right? Is anybody out there looking back? That is the universal question of humanity, and I have no doubt there is. Thousands teeming with life, okay, out there. I'm going to lay down my chair here, Marty says. Thank you, sir. Move the microphone over here a little bit so I can whisper a little bit. And but I just want you to think about that for a minute. You're out there in your backyard and all the stars you see, there's more planets going around those stars than there are stars that we see. Now, 5,005 exoplanets. And here's a graphic. Where is it? Oh, there we are. Look at them all different sizes. Some are bigger than Jupiter. Some are smaller than the Earth. But we can detect things on them with our science that we know some of them have atmospheres, some of them have water. All right, we're going to look at one particularly close system called TRAPPIST that has 7 planets orbiting it that all could sustain life quite possibly. But 5,000 exoplanets in the year 2022. In 2013, just 9 years ago, Marty, there's 850 known exoplanets, all right? So it has more than, 6 times, just in 9 years, we've discovered 6 times more. How they do this is very complicated. We've had several telescopes, one called Kepler, the other called TESS, that were orbited just for this purpose, to look at stars and detect a gravitational pull on the star. Because our moon pulls the Earth back and forth a little bit. That's where we have the tides of the oceans. So the Earth and other planets also move the sun back and forth a little bit. All right? So we can detect by that amount of movement, and believe me, this is complicated astrophysics, but they've had it figured out for 25 years. In fact, 30 years ago is when we first detected planets going around another star. In January 1992, 2 cosmic objects were seen going around a star that was 2,300 light years away, and they knew that it had planets going around it. 30 years later, we have had 5,000 other worlds. These are places. These are habitats, just like our 8 planets and Pluto and the 200 moons that are involved in our solar system. Each one is a unique physical entity. And I believe there's life on some of the moons of Jupiter, like Europa, that has a lot of water underneath this icy mantle of it that we see. So this is just an amazing thing, all right? It's not just a number. Each one of them is a new world, a brand new world that deserves to be investigated and find out if life is there. Problem is, they're so far away. And we know that some of them eclipse, like you see the black one in eclipse in a star there. That's another way we know them. The gravitational pull, as well as sometimes the alignment's just right that they'll dim the light of the nearby star, and then we can tell how long that light was dimmed. We tell the orbit and the speed and how big the object was. Very, very precise science that's being carried out. And NASA and your taxpaying dollars have paid for 2 spacecraft just to find exoplanets out there. Well, one of them that is very interesting, here's the ways that they look at things to give you an idea of. You've got the red is a planet going around the center there. We can tell by the wavelengths of light. Light waves are stretched and move towards the red end of the spectrum when they're going away from us, and the blue when they're coming towards us. That's the same type of analogy when you hear a train whistle go by. It's high-pitched and then low. This has to do with the amplitude and the compression and so forth. So that's one reason how they do it too. But there is a solar system of planets that is the most incredible we've found, called TRAPPIST-1. This is only 40 light years from Earth, all right? So we could communicate with this solar system or exosolar system 40 light years away. We could send something to them, and they'll get it in 40 years, and then they could reply, and we'll get it in 40 years. So we're already trying to do that. But it has 3 planets that are on what we call the Goldilocks Zone. And you see the TRAPPIST system up there of 7 planets, and then our solar system laid on it. And the Goldilocks Zone is just what you would think about. The old fable of Goldilocks going into the bear's house, the 3 bears, and one bed's too small, one bed's too big, one bed's just right. Or the porridge is too cold, porridge is too hot, one porridge bowl is just right. Well, that's what we're talking about. Mercury is too close to the sun. Jupiter and Saturn too far away for life like we know it that is based on water to exist. But Venus, Earth, and Mars are right in what's called the Goldilocks zone. Venus is a little bit closer. Somewhere a runaway greenhouse effect happened, so it's covered with a 30-mile thick atmosphere of carbon dioxide and sulfur. Maybe it had water and something happened like global warming that we're witnessing on Earth that ruined that planet. Earth is just right. Not too close, not too far away, a global temperature of around 70 degrees. We are a perfect abode for life. And so is TRAPPIST-E and F up above there, and even G are in what they call the Goldilocks zone of the TRAPPIST exoplanet system there. So these are exoplanets that need to be investigated. And of course, on the life scale, you've got to have life evolving and being just as smart as you are, which is another kind of trains passing in the night. We communicate with one of these TRAPPIST. Are they in the Stone Age or are they in the Jetson Age? Okay, 500 years ahead of us or 500 years behind would make a big difference. So you've got a lot of coincidences that have to line up for aliens to communicate with us. But it's going to happen one day, definitely before humans are extinguished from this earth, hopefully in millions and millions of years. We will know that there's other life out there. And here are again the TRAPPIST planets, exoplanets. We know that a couple of them have atmospheres. Several of them have a lot of water on them, we know. And like I said, this is scientific inquiry that I hope you're stimulated to, if you're young, to get out there and get involved in this great research. A new area of astronomy being completely created: bioastronomy, biology, atmospheric astronomy, meteorology astronomy, all about to understand what is going on some of these 5,000 worlds that are up there in the sky, all right, orbiting other planets just like our third rock from the sun. Where are they located? They're located all over the doggone place. This is a regular star chart, all right, of the night sky, showing you probably about 1,000 of the brightest stars, all right, is my guess there. And there'd be another 2,000 fainter that would not shown on the chart that you might see. But basically, this is the number of stars you're going to see from your backyard, all right. A lot of them up there is concentrated towards the center of our Milky Way. Right over here is the Big Dipper in the center. Let me get up. There's the Big Dipper. That's Bootes. We're going to talk about that star here in just a minute. But they're kind of clustered around the Milky Way where there's a lot of close stars to us. So, but it's definitely a random. Why are they concentrated here? Because this is where we've been looking the hardest, okay? Everywhere, every direction we look, we find stars that have planets going around them. And some of them are so weird. Some of them have are going around a 2-star system, all right, orbiting 2 stars at once. And there's planets that are orbiting collapsed remnants of dead stars. So it's the whole gamut, but we're up to 5,000 planets orbiting other stars in 2022. Well, let's change the subject of that and look at some stars that you can go out and see from your backyard tonight. And this is the Stellarium Planetarium program. Think aquarium, stellarium, stellar. Download it, stellarium.org. It's a free, wonderful sky chart. You can find others. You can also find the app for it on your phone, like I have, or there's plenty of apps that you can do stargazing with. But there in the center, you see the asterism of the Big Dipper, all right? And you see the other stars coming off of it show you that it's the Big Bear, all right? And we're going to see what that bear looks like here in a minute. But you take the handle of the star, and it points down right now. This is about 8 o'clock tonight. The Big Dipper in the north is going to be standing on its handle, all right? And the pointer stars are going to be pointing to the North Star, Polaris. Not the brightest star, not even close. It's only a second magnitude star. We don't know if this star has any planets going around it because they hadn't checked yet, okay? And they're very systematic with this. So so Ursa Major is the Big Bear, and the Big Dipper is what we call an asterism, just a piece of that bear. Look how the handle's curving down. All right, we're gonna go 2 hours later here in a minute. But up there's Leo the lion on its side, and Leo is a backward question mark, okay, and that's his head and mane, marked by the bright star Regulus, and then you see the triangle at the bottom. Marty, can you help me out with a circle there? You see what I'm talking about. I hope everybody else does. There's the Big Dipper handle, and the earthquake here in Titusville. The sky shook up there. Yeah, keep going right. There we go. To the right, that's Leo Minor. Now go to the right there, and that's the backward question mark, a sickle. Go just a little bit more to your right, Marty.
I know, I'm just trying to get this.
Oh, okay. All right. He's trying to maneuver that, and I'm going to have me a sip of rocket fuel here. There's the body of Leo, and you see the triangle for his hindquarters right there. And then up at the top is a sickle or backward question mark. All right. Very easy to see on a moonless night like it's going to be for the next 2 weeks. Well, let's go 8 hours later, and you see that Leo has moved up directly overhead, and you see the handle of the Big Dipper arcs to Arcturus, all right there in the middle, and then you speed on that arc to Virgo, and that bright star just off my screen there is Spica, 2 bright stars. So you arc to Arcturus, and you speed on to Spica. But look at how the sky has moved in 2 hours. So from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, a lot happens, all right, including Leo's getting directly overhead. Now, I was stargazing over the weekend, and we saw a lot of cool, I meant to put those pictures in there. I'm sorry I didn't do that. I didn't go back and put those pictures in there. We'll look at them tomorrow on Stay Curious. Out at the Bio Lab north of Kenny's Visitors Complex, and we were getting some light pollution from Pad 39B out there. And here's putting the mythological creatures. Okay, there's the big Ursa Major, the Big Dipper. He's actually a bear that's upside down, all right? And you follow the handle. Bautes is was a herdsman, all right? And then never heard a person called Bautes, but that was an old Arabic name for a herdsman. And then you got Virgo, the virgin maiden there with what she's supposed to look like. And we've got Draco, the dragon, is between the Little Dipper there, and dragon, the floor is Cetus there. So just the Big Dipper there. You see, the Big Dipper's thing there, and I thought it'd be great to have a little fun with flags. How about that? A little fun with flags. This is the state flag of who? Did I hear Mark Usiak say Alaska? Yes, you're right. It is the state flag of Alaska. I'll bet Robert Law knows that up in Dundee, Scotland, too. But yeah, that's the simple flag for Alaska. The Big Dipper pointing towards Polaris. There is, again, Leo the Lion, showing you the outline of the lion. One of the few constellations that actually looks like what it's supposed to look like. And it's part of the house of the zodiac, so the planets and the moon are contained within the borders of Leo the Lion. And the bright star at the bottom of the backward question mark is Regulus, the regal one. And this constellation plays huge into the legend of the Star of Bethlehem, because this is the house of the Hebrew, where decisions were made according to the mythology of 2,000 years ago. And the planets Jupiter and Venus merged as one star right inside this constellation in 4 BC, which may have been the what the wise men saw to signal their journey. You know, every star's got names, the bright ones, and you notice the nebula over my head here. That means tail in Arabic. A lot of Arabic names for stars, a lot of Greek and Roman names for the constellations. It's a mixed bag up there. The Arabian nations were the first ones to really systematically name the stars. Algeba there, Zosma, loves saying that. Zosma would make a good name for a cat. And Regulus there, and Rosalis, all right. So, well, to end our little Stay Star Curious here, all of you morning risers that get up early, you look before the morning sunlight like I did to see and I've been watching, the sun is almost coming up over pad 39B where I'm at. But you get up early, this is at 6:30, and you see the moon is going to be a beautiful crescent moon. Venus is going to be the brightest star in the sky. All right. Thank you, Carlton. See you guys later, all right?
Before they leave them here.
Yeah, no, they're on a tight line. So we're glad to have Steve Nolte here, and they've got to go. And we'll catch you all later. Appreciate y'all being here and staying curious. So you stay a little star curious in the morning. That's where all the planets went, okay? Remember all the planets were jammed up in the evening sky before Christmas? Well, this is how the Earth moves around our sky, and it's changed its place to where the planets are in the morning sky. You'll see Venus and the Moon, Saturn, and Mars are up there. Mars is going to start getting brighter, and Mars will be at opposition in December, meaning we can see its surface and its polar caps in a telescope. Too small to see right now in a telescope because it's 200 million miles away. But in December, it'll be about 40 million miles away. So, Marty, what do we got there, buddy?
Yeah.
Question?
Well, yeah, but let me give you these numbers.
This is the question. Don't know if you want to answer it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Our Professor Keith Sewell's wanting to know what happened to his top fan badge. Well, you'll have to ask Stay Curious. You have to ask Facebook about that. That's not a Stay Curious issue. I have no idea about those things. But anyway, you're there every day, and we appreciate that, Professor Sewell there. We got Frozen and is Mark Usiak up there. Dave Stange, he says it's snowing in Michigan. We got Florida Space Coast watching, Robert Law. We got Testa Solova. And I know you are in a European country there. I'll have to look that up. Christopher Mick is probably back at home. He, of course, is from Hudson, Wisconsin. And I got pictures of Larry Pushker that I got to get posted up there with Christopher Mick. to show you guys what these guys look like that visit our museum and are staying curious on a daily basis. So we appreciate that. So, so we hope that you've enjoyed a little bit of staying curious with what's out there. Think about that. Get out in your backyard, look at the sky, and no matter what star you see, you can just about bet that there's somebody out there maybe looking back at us. It's just mind-boggling to think about. But why would we be alone in the universe, okay? I think that's sort of the height of arrogance to think that of all this cosmos, that we would be the only intelligent creatures, and that's intelligent with quotes around it when you see what's going around in the world today. And ever since man has been recording history, we've been trying to kill each other and take over each other's territory and things. So, this is why we need to learn the lessons that we are one. Well, the lessons that I love that Nicole Stott, astronaut Nicole Stott, has shared with us, that I love sharing with you, her Stottisms, that we are truly on a planet, all right? And we are all earthlings together on this planet. We are crewmates, not passengers. And the only line that should matter is the thin blue line that separates our planet from annihilation in the harsh environment of space. So hope you've enjoyed that little bit of Staying Star Curious today. Thank you, Steve Nolte, for your surprise appearance on here, and appreciate all that he's done to enhance our program with his photography. Tomorrow we'll get back to the end of March and shuttles of March and talk about some space history, some astronaut birthdays, and show you some pictures that have been taken around the Space Coast here of that big moon rocket out on the pad, just 11 miles from where Marty and I are sitting here to help you stay curious. So hope to see you all in our museum today, and hope to see you again to stay curious and bridge the space between us. Until then, I'm Mark Marquette. Keep looking up and stay star curious.